because the theme is, what would you ask Ida Rolf? What would you tell to her if she was here right now amongst us? But I want to, let's see if I can get this done. Share a screen. There. Can you see that?
Okay.
Oh,
wow.
Oh, God.
Okay.
Beautiful.
This is she, I think, at about 2 years old,
Wow.
give or take a little bit.
Oh, wow.
And I mean, every time I see that picture, I kind of see a little girl who already has a project in her mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. The eyes.
Yeah.
The eyes show
Yeah.
her.
Very adult eyes.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, and I've been doing a lot of research for this movie that we're doing about her, and the more I dug into the history and about the family history and about what she was doing at which period of her life, I just wanted to ask her, how on earth did you have the energy to do all of these things? I mean, this is so much and so elaborate and so deep in her search for things that I have no idea how you did all of this in one lifetime.
Yeah.
And I might add, in the complete absence of any agreement that she was doing anything the right thing.
Absolutely. Yeah. And practically without any help.
Yeah.
More hindered than helped sometimes. And with hardly any money. You know, with the usual money that you would have, but not like, she was not financed or she was not sponsored or anything like that. So that would be my question to her today if she was here. Anybody else want to get into the topic a little bit? I'm going to have a glass of and raise a glass to her and listen to you guys, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Cheers.
Well,
Cheers.
I'll say something. I just would like to thank her for taking a chance on me, for letting me audit that class at the the Bel Air Sands Hotel that January in 1969. And you were training Peter and Larry Davis and somebody named Schutz and Eddie Jehaber. And Judith was across the hall. Judith Aston was being trained by Dorothy Nolte. You remember that class? Anyway, I was there and I'm grateful. It has given meaning to my whole life to be able to do this work and to serve the work in the ways that I have been able to do. So that's what I have to say.
That's very well said, Mary. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mary.
And by the way, it was Will Schutz.
Will, that's right. Somebody.
Will Schutz, yeah.
Will.
Hi, David.
Good morning.
Good day, David.
Good day.
Hi, David.
Difficulty getting on, but here I am. I made it anyway.
Good for you. Welcome.
Blessings to all.
If I could speak to Dr. Rolf, I would thank her. She saved me twice. First, by saving my body, and she never touched me. And then she saved me by giving me this work to do, because when I was a little boy, I looked out at the world at what people were doing, and I knew from early on that I didn't want to do any of that. Thank you for saving me from a soul-crushing job that would have killed me a long time ago. That's what I had to say, Dr. Rolf. Thank you.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I'd like to say that I first got Rolf when I was in 77, for the first time. And as a dancer, it gave me parts of my body back that I had been searching for years. And I considered Rolfers or structural integrators, I considered them heroes. Something that was just really something heroic and magical from that experience. And then, you know, a good amount of years later, I've been like 7 years ago, I graduated from Rolf School, and I became one of the heroes, and that was a thrilling thing for me to join those ranks, and you know, widened my perception of the body and being inside the body so hugely. And you know, I hope I'll be doing this for the rest of my life. So that is my thank you to her also.
Thank you. Beautiful.
Beautiful. Thanks.
I'm thankful. The 1976 annual meeting was, which was at the Garden of Allah outside of San Francisco. She pointed her crooked index finger at me and she said, "Yeah, come here." And I did. And she was so quietly potent and not really reserved. I like to say she revealed herself to me, and it was such a heartfelt, warm welcome that I didn't need that. However, that kicked everything over the edge, and here, you know, I'm still here.
That's interesting, David, because I feel that her sort of reputation is one of being like brusque and sharp, and you know, you got to know this. And I haven't heard that other side of her really in the ether.
Yeah, she was very kind and generous with consistently, and she had that side. But Mary can probably address this, or Neil, better than I. However, she had a very loving, compassionate side that when things were appropriate, she wasn't afraid to let that out. She wasn't afraid to show that. I know she was really hard on people, and she gave, I think she gave everybody what they needed at the time when they needed it.
Yeah, makes sense. Totally.
Live in North Carolina or somewhere?
Needed a gas, and some people needed a stroke on the head.
Yeah.
She
Just I want to get some meat at this field.
Get some meat where?
I want to make the lasagna at tomorrow.
Lasagna.
Lasagna. Can you mute them?
Meat that. Sorry, guys.
Okay.
I have a double thank you for Ida Rolf. First, for giving this gift, as we all say, to us and to me, to do this, to study and to do this amazing work. And then I'm really grateful for the opportunity of studying with the people that studied from her, because unfortunately I never met her. So really grateful for that, and for many other things. Every time, you know, every person I'm working with, and all the wonders that I can see, and all the ideas that are coming into my mind, or my other parts. I'm so thankful, and I have her picture in my you know, in my working room, and I keep talking to her. I used to ask her questions, and then, you know, say thank you, and joke with her, as we do with the picture of Peter. He's another one. Many people have his picture in the workrooms. But there are so many things to be thankful for her. And I'm thankful for meeting all of you. It's really a joy. So nice. It's a feeling of family.
Yes. Thank you, Shlomi.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Great.
Beautiful.
I think that's an important thing, that she generated a sense of family. Certainly been that way from the early days at the Rolf Institute. And we kept having to resurrect the family and the feeling of family. And here we are.
I still remember your hands, David.
Shlomit, good to see you again.
Good to see you.
Love to my friends there when you get to see them, please.
Thank you.
I'm just finishing, just starting the last week of that advanced training, and have a photo of Dr. Rolf about this big. It's her 80th birthday portrait, and I haul that around all the time for classes. But she's very present in our class.
Yeah. I was looking at her picture.
Batya, you're raising your hand.
Yes, I would like to say something to David Davis, who came to Israel in 1995, bravely at a very difficult time, to give us the first structured integration, the real structured integration work. And I thank you forever, daily, you and Peter.
I'm so thankful that you're still up and around, and that you're joining us in the difficult time that's happening where you are right now. It's a beautiful thing.
I would like not to speak about it because I'll start crying. It's not easy time in our life. We are mostly, my friends and me are mostly in the streets once a week, if not more, but we can't do anything about it. But anyway, I can still, with all my heart, thank you, David. Your presence was really important to me in my life, and also to Nils that came to Israel. I still work, and I give other people the sense of the line, and I have my clinic working on, and I really hope to continue to bring some peace to this world. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
If anybody can do that, it's you, Batya.
Maybe.
What is that?
A cat. Anybody else want to jump in? Fulvio?
Well, I'm really emotional right now.
Okay.
Hi, Bear.
So am I.
Yeah. I mean, this is beyond words. But I of course, I want to take the chance to say thank you. This woman, I think, as Richie was saying, saved many lives, and it really struck me that after decades she's still present, and her presence is still strong through the lineage of all the teachers that were lucky to be in her presence, to get the gift and to share that with all of us. So I'm really thankful to Dr. Rolf for many things, as all we are. One thing that I'm still learning from her influence and inspiration is that it's about giving, receiving, which makes a circle of sharing, and we are all part of that sharing, and this is the proof. All of us here now, and we just represent a little piece of the whole world that she touched literally, and still is and still is touching through her work. So I'm really grateful. And the other thing I'm grateful for is that for the first time since I met her work, I was really impressed by the great teaching that in life there is not bad or wrong, good or right. There is what is there, and it's just about getting more and more in contact with this potential. Nevertheless, the hard times in life, so like our dear good friends and colleagues in Israel are having right now, or the good times, the potential is always there for us to connect to. So I'm really grateful that she really gave us, I think, the inspiration to look for our human nature and to take it out from every individual. Thank you, Dr. Rolf, and thank you all. I'm very, I'm speechless. It's so overwhelming to see you all, guys. It's really touching. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
That was very beautiful, Fulvio. For being speechless, you did great.
Yes, thank you.
And thank you for laughs.
That's Italian speechless. Funny. Okay.
Well, one thing that Dr. Rolf and I share is that we're both Tauruses. So I just had a birthday as well. And it turns out that I am now the age that Dr. Rolf was when I first met her.
Well,
And-
happy birthday, Richie.
Well,
Yes.
thank you.
From Taurus to fellow Taurus.
Yeah, Tauruses unite.
Another one.
Oh, God, no.
Anyway, a few people have asked me if hey, aren't you going to retire? And I tell them Dr. Rolf died with her boots on, and I'm quite sure she expects nothing less of me.
Yeah, but Richie, once you've done this, nothing else is as interesting.
Quite true.
My friends are gardening and painting and things like that, It's like, why?
Well, also, a lot of guys my age are stumbling their way into their graves. And
Right.
as you can see, I got me a drum kit. I just got that, and it had nothing to do with music. I have no illusions of being Ringo. I did it for my nervous system. So, I'm building new synaptic pathways.
Yes.
Thank you, Dr. Rolf.
I'd just like to say something about the nothing else is quite so interesting. Probably a little known thing about Batya is that she was a cabinet member in the ministry of Golda Meir, and when we met, she was still involved in things, but now she's doing this work, and there's nothing else. Nothing. We're not good for much else after.
That's true, David. Very true.
I feel like what makes it so constantly interesting is that it's a collaboration between us and the person we're working on. So it's not a closed circle that you bring to the work. It's a continual evolving of that collaboration between you and your client. So you're constantly getting new input. It's not the same circle. And that's rather addictive, I think.
Yes, sweetie. Graceful.
Well, that's one of the interesting things about the work is that it's endlessly educating me.
Mm-hmm.
It's always a puzzle. It's always a riddle. I can never know which kind of answer I will have when someone comes in.
Yeah.
When every session, it's like the words that you're trying to put together into one line and another line and another line, and you can never know. And when you put it together, the next session, you look at them and say, what did I do? Was I right? Was I wrong? It's always a continuing search. And this search is nourishing. So we age gracefully.
Mm.
Very nice. I have a comment on the chat from David Vronsky. Thank you, Dr. Rolf, for that little point you made about gravity. What got me into it and what keeps me in it.
Ciao, David.
David, do you want to join the conversation, or would you rather stay just on the chat? Okay, I guess he wants to stay on the chat. Bert is here. Hello.
Welcome, Bert.
Oh, okay. The usual technical problem. You need to unmute yourself. And Roberta is here.
Uli's here.
Uli's here too. Hello from Munich.
Hi. Hello. Hello to everybody.
Uli, what would you say to Dr. Rolf?
I would say to her that what she has found is still today, after so many years, brand new, and the world needs her gospel. It is something we need to pass on to the next generations in the future. So I'm very grateful to her to have found this work, and I also feel honored to be part of her lineage. So maybe some years ago, I saw a film by her when she was showing the connective tissue. And now that Mr. Gamberto from France did this film, Strolling Under the Skin, it was exactly what she was imagining, let's say 70 years ago. So she was so much ahead of her time. And I think for this reason, because she was so far ahead, it is still brand new. And I think for many generations to come, it will be still brand new, what she has brought to us. And I think structural integration is what the world needs. So thank you, Dr. Ida Rolf.
Let me pick up on that, what you just said, Uli, for a moment. One of the first interviews that we did with people for the movie that we're working on with was Robert Schleip. Yeah. And I asked Robert, before we did the interview, to reread the chapter on fascia in Dr. Rolf's book, which, you know, obviously he hadn't done for 30, 40 years or something like that.
Yeah.
He did that, and he says in the interview that he was shocked. He was shocked how spot on she was without any imaging tools. God knows where she got it from, but she was basically saying the same thing as they're finding out now in the research.
Yeah, she was a genius, and I think it still is it is important and it will be important what she brought to us. So we can be really grateful to be part of this. Thank you.
Thank you, Uli.
Thank you.
I'd say my thank yous because I think my life's gonna get going here with kids running around and things. But I didn't get to meet Ida, and my two main teachers, Peter and Emmett, passed away. So I thank the people that are still alive before they die. Nilsi, thank you. Neil, David. I'd like to thank Will Johnson too. He kind of kept me going in the work when it was hard. So I'm here still doing the work.
Bruce, thank you. Thank you,
That's
Bruce.
beautiful. That's important.
Take care.
Thank you.
Where are you? Where are you in the world?
I'm in, well, Salt Spring Island in BC in Canada.
Okay, nice place. Beautiful place.
Yeah.
Beautiful island. Wow.
It is gorgeous. Come anytime.
Thank you. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
I miss you, Nilsi.
Yeah.
It's been too long.
Yes, long time.
I'll try. I'm glad also to see Liz LaFemina here, the only person that I think I studied with that's on the
good
call.
to see you, Bruce.
Which I recently went through something that scores the internet for past things, looking for a couple of friends of mine from the class, and some of them have completely disappeared. So I'm glad to see you, Liz.
You, buddy. You too.
We'll talk soon.
Yeah, I hope so.
Okay. I've got to go to garage sale now with one of my youngest kids. So love you all. Love you, Ida.
Love you all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bruce.
You.
Nilsi, I'm teaching a 3-day in the same room you're teaching your class, and it starts the day after your class ends. So we'll have to join the parties.
Oh, that's great. And I hope you arrive a few days before so we can also spend some time together.
Yes, we're going to.
That's great.
We plan to do that just then. Thank you.
Great.
We'll look you up. We know where to find you.
Yeah. Yes. I'll send you my address. Well, I
Okay.
don't know where I'm going to be yet because it's the last days. And I will have moved from the place I'm staying all month. So, but I'll tell you before I move. It would be great. I would like to meet the other teachers because I'm always here in Brazil and I know things are happening there and I'm always isolated somehow. So I look for meeting you and talking and seeing what you're doing in the US.
We'll find you.
Great. Thank you. Neil, when are we going to meet in the presence?
Yes, good question. Good question. I may come to Colorado just to say hello and give you a hug.
Oh, wouldn't be even real. Hey, great.
Actually,
You
I
can
will do that.
with me if you come when I have an apartment because I have a room in the Until the 25th of June, I have a place for you.
Oh, good to know. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Or anybody else that want to show up in Boulder.
I wish I could I want to say, Alice, thank you for this idea of meeting in the Zoom. It's, I mean, I haven't been for years in anything on the net like this, so it's like it's a reconnection, but it's also like, you know, meeting from a new, and it's really wonderful. Thank you. It's a good idea to do it from time to time.
It is. It is.
Because you know, we are like we are in the end of the world too, like Brazil.
Yeah.
Thank you, Shlomi.
I have
And
another.
I see
have
Rob
another-
there.
I'm sorry, what?
No, I was just seeing Rob there nodding his head. You want to say something, Rob?
Ah, sorry.
Oh. No, I'm just grateful, and I like the idea, Shalom, of us being able to connect now with Zoom or however. But Zoom is really the only application that we have to really connect all over the world, and it keeps the idea of our village together. You know, that we're all in the same village, we're all learning from each other. It's just wonderful opportunity to share.
Right.
Yeah, totally.
It has helped us through the pandemics. Remember, guys, when we would meet, and it was great. Kept us together.
I think this is when we did the first kind of Ida Rolf birthday Zoom, was in the pandemic, if I remember correctly. And then we kind of kept up the tradition.
And it kept doing the.
But anything for Dr. Rolf, Rob, that you would want to ask her?
Well, I have to say, I mean, I never met Dr. Rolf. It's so nice to hear about her compassionate side, because I think the vision I had of her was of someone that I would be sitting in the back of the room and not raising my hand because she was a little scary to me. But it's nice to hear David's stories and others about her, and that she did have this side of being able to connect with people. And I would like to have that opportunity at some time. And so maybe a little astral journey or something. I'll touch base with her and reconnect.
Thank you, Rob.
I think she found us amusing.
Oh, we have a new member here, Kit.
Ah.
Hello, Kit.
Hi.
Okay.
But go on, Mary, go on.
I just started to say, I think she found us amusing. You know, I mean, she looked for years for people to train and ended up with this bunch of hippies, you know, and she took a chance on us, and we pretty much came through, right?
Yeah.
We're still here, a lot of us, in different ways, you know. I've been thinking a lot lately about training, you know, how do you train a new Rolfer? And I know that different schools have different points of view about what Rolfing is and what it should be composed of. And there's all kinds of potential, you know, disagreements. But I think she'd still be laughing at us because it's all a process, you know. We're just all trying to learn in different ways. What's the best way to go about this work of helping people come into the presence of themselves in their bodies? You know, I think that's the basic thing. And so, I don't know, I like to think of her laughing and smiling at, you know, our struggles and our foibles and our disagreements and our reaching for more, you know. In my own self, I just like to say to her that I have reached out there and I studied all kinds of other modalities, and I waited 5 years before I did it, you know. And now I'm circling back to thinking, no, you know, just finding those layers and working through those layers is just the perfect thing for me. So anyway, rambling a bit.
Not at all.
Not at
It's
all.
okay.
Not at all.
Very beautiful.
I'll say something if I may.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Well, as a newer practitioner, I graduated in 2022. I'll just echo the most of what everyone has already said. I think a lot of what you've talked about, and so if that is helpful to know that that's still alive, this idea of the work constantly teaching you, constantly unfolding, and this community that has been built for us and with us. I'd say those are just pieces that I really love about this work. And I knew that I always wanted to go into body work, but I couldn't quite make the step. And as soon as I received my first session of Rolfing, I knew why. I said, oh, this is why, because I had to find this. This is what it is. This is the thing. And I could not stop trying to learn about it immediately. I think I had to get on a plane and I looked until the last second till I'd turn my phone on airplane mode. And then I landed and I just dove right back into searching and about it. And I'm so glad to be here and be able to offer this work and learn from it and support people. It's amazing.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Very
Frank.
cool.
Great, thank you.
I just wanted to say something briefly about what Mary said about Dr. Rolf arriving at teaching a bunch of hippies. And she tried to get physicians and osteopaths and chiropractors and all kinds of professional people interested in doing this work. And my understanding is that as often as not, they would go, well, that's interesting. They see how, this could be an adjunct for them. This could make their chiropractic adjustments, for example, a little easier or whatever. But those folks would fall away. And she appealed to a great deal of very extraordinary people. She really rallied extraordinary people, and then she, in her Victorian being, fell upon these bunch of Dayglow crazies that loved the work, and suddenly, kaboom! The doors opened, and I think she did find us humorous because we still are. But more importantly, we're extraordinary people in ways that we don't even know. And she is bringing that forward in each and every one of us. And then we bring it to the world. And I'm so grateful that she found her way into our hearts.
David,
go ahead, Rich.
I might say that she chose us as much as we chose her, because there's a story that Peter told about how he was at Esalen once and he sat down at a park bench.
15 minutes. I don't know.
And talked to her. And she said, well, what do you want? And he said, I don't know, but I think you have it. And she said to Peter, if you weren't so pitifully uneducated, I could teach you how to do this. Peter was insulted, and he said, what do you mean pitifully uneducated? And she said, well, did you study physics? No. Math? No. Chemistry? No. She said, well, that's what I mean. You're pitifully uneducated. And that's where the conversation ended, except that 3 weeks later, a box of books like this arrived on Peter's doorstep, which was everything she wanted him to know. So you could only assume that at that moment, she picked him as much as he picked her. And I have an interesting experience in front of me, because this 3-day I'm teaching after Nilsi's class. My model is going to be a woman who was Rolfed by Dr. Rolf herself when she was a baby. Zoe, David.
Yeah, cool.
Zoe
Cool.
will be my model. So this was a woman who was Rolfed by Dr. Rolf as a baby. So, whenever we're working with somebody who's been worked with someone else, we're always looking for those fingerprints. So I'll be looking for them.
They're in there.
They're definitely in there.
Thank you, Alesh et al. For doing this. I have to away to a meeting, and what a joyous reunion. And when's the next one, Alesh?
Pardon?
What was the last thing you said, David?
When's the next one?
When is the next one?
I don't
Of
know.
the-
We'll have to find some opportunity.
Yeah.
We usually
create
pick
an
Christmas or
opportunity.
Easter or her birthday or something. So we'll see.
Go for Neil's birthday or Mary's.
Niels is already gone this time, but
Oh, that was sneaky. Okay.
no, it's okay. We'll find an opportunity. How about your birthday?
Oh, that's a long ways away. Just have something before that, you know.
It was
All good.
great to see you, David.
Yes, nice to see you, David.
Yeah.
It's, good to see you. And,
Have a good
bless
day,
you.
David.
Love you, Dave.
Bye-bye,
Thank you.
David.
Bye.
Ciao,
Class-
David. Thank you.
Bye, David.
Wonderful. And I look forward to next time.
Well, you know, Mary, in some ways, what is kind of funny is the wrong word, but it always works both ways. I mean, if you say, or if many of you said that at the time in Esselen, she was teaching hippies, and in some ways she saved the hippies and gave them a direction and gave them things to do in life. In an absurd way, the hippies also saved her.
Yeah.
Because this was the first time that she then was able to do a training program that actually ended up in the schools as they are now and us being here together. Okay?
Yeah.
Before that, there was nothing much there yet. And she was 71 years old.
Yeah.
So it was high time.
I love the reminder that she was 71 years old. As somebody who is actually 71 now, I love the idea that her life was still like deeply involved and ahead of her and always evolving at that time. And it just seems very natural that that should be the case. And yet our culture really is just the opposite in terms of that. And so I just, she was a pioneer in that as well.
Maybe, I don't know, maybe since we're talking about Esselen, and at least I did not have such a vivid imagination what this looked like at the time. I found this very old movie from Esselen. It's about 2 minutes long. Maybe I can share that for a moment. And you will, those of you who have no idea what the 60s were like at Esselen will get at least a sense. Okay?
Definitely.
That'd be great.
Oh, great. Oh, wow.
I don't like it. On the ground. Yeah.
Rolfing, a technique devised and developed by Ida Rolf, is also considered to have more than healing effects. Ida Rolf's theory is based on the relations of a person to gravity. There's a right way to be in relationship to gravity, to sit, stand, walk, etc. And if the person is out of line with gravity, then so is his mind. Therapy by body manipulation helps a person to get back into the line of gravity. Rolfing involves manipulation of the muscles, and the Rolfers, here Dan Shi, one of the Rolfers at Esselen, uses his fingers, his elbow, his fists, his hands, and nearly all of his weight. The process can be pretty painful for the receiver, but the feeling of relaxation and peace thereafter is certainly worth the pain. Rolfing is also considered to help eradicate the psychological traumas of past experiences.
You know who that is that's working? No. Well, could be pushed around the door.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, holy shit. Wow.
Early times.
Wow.
One of the people we interviewed said, and I can't remember who it was, that the 71-year-old Victorian lady did not so much approve of the dress code at Esalen.
No, she did not. She did not.
I'm surprised he had a beard. I heard she didn't like beards either.
She
No,
didn't.
She did not like beards.
No.
That's incredible, that footage. That is really wonderful to look at.
Well, I think it does give you a sense of what it was like. And just imagine Ida Rolf being in that scene, you know, at that age and who she was.
You know, she had to have been open-minded. Do you know?
Yeah, yeah.
That open, I mean, it's just the moment or the period of time when she transitioned into that world must have been quite, I don't know, it must have been quite a thing for her to move into, I don't know, from trying to teach doctors and so on, and them not being able to understand the whole vision, you know, but then going to Esalen. So, I mean, I just think that's that open-mindedness is a thing that is part of what she gave us, you know, and showed us to be open-minded also. So.
Thank you, Mary.
Not always
I'd like to
easy to do that, you know, to be that way.
Oh, yeah.
Bert, do you want to say something?
Yes, I wanted to add some. Nice to see you all, basically. But I was reflecting on that, the hippie, you know, basically, you know, I'm 75, so I had an academic training before I went to Esalen, and that's Rolfing and all of that. And I feel it's, you know, talking about a bunch of hippies, I think it was there was a mind opening. And for me as an academic, didn't find anything related to the nature of mind or essence. And I was really looking for that. And so to me, the hippie mind was kind of an invitation to open, you know, and a sort of, in my case, an academic sort of mind set and with borders and limits and so on. So for me, that was really like a rebirth in my, you know, meeting the hippie mind from an academic mind, having to let go of things, you know, sort of meeting Rolfing in the sense of where she was always saying, you don't see what is there, there's more, you know, the way we look at what we see is not there, it's like limiting, there are obstacles, And and sort of that's what I kind of thankful, because it opened in one way sort of still on an academic trace, some like what is she talking about, and on the other hand an experience of, wow, there's something opening. So I cannot just get in there with my mind, with my mental constructs. And I really, that is sort of what came with me when I then studied Rolfing, and helped me in my life, while Rolfing, while doing this practice, sort of being on a road that is sort of has all those aspects, but basically very much sort of was a way of meeting my mind, my open mind, so to speak. And of course there were some more people on the path coming from that space and teaching. But I think Ida Rolf in that sense saved my life.
Beautiful.
Was a lifesaver
Mm.
and a game changer.
Thanks.
I just wanted to add that.
Thank you, Bert.
Thank you, Bert.
Well, thank you.
I have a couple things I'll throw into this conversation. As I'm relatively new to this work as well, but what strikes me is the layers, and oftentimes thinking about the fascial layers, but my other work and my other studying, when I bring it into working with a client and I start seeing the pieces of the meridian systems, the chakra systems, the more esoteric systems in play with the series, it's quite stunning to me. I think of when a symptom comes to the body, that's the last place, that's the last layer that it shows up. How many layers does it show up before it even reaches the body? So the whole series almost rewires all the layers up into the psyche. And that's the curiosity. If it's less of a question that I would have with Ida versus I just want to sit with her and watch her view people. I want to see how she sees individuals. Because she's seeing on some different layers that are past the body. And if I could just be in that presence of her and witness how she views an individual, I would enjoy that, I believe.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That Can I just say something in response to
Sure.
that? What was the name of the person who just spoke?
Bruce, I think, right?
Bruce.
That was me.
Nicholas.
Nick.
Yeah, okay.
Nicholas.
So that was just so great. I have a young friend who's just about to go to structural integration school. And one of the things he has to do is read Dr. Rolf's book. And I have been worried about this young man, whether he would be able to I don't know, just be able to embrace the work fully, because he has a lot of other things going on in his life. But at any rate, what he told me about the book was that he felt, besides the fact that it was written in old-fashioned language, that there was something hidden about the book, something she wasn't saying. And then he looked at me and he said, because And it's that way on purpose because these are secret teachings. And so I just thought, okay, I'm not worrying about him. He's going to get it. But I think that's what you were also speaking to, is that ineffable thing, that special way of being with the body, and that you almost have to be there, you know, to have it be transmitted to you. If that makes any sense. I don't know, Neil, does that resonate
Yeah,
with you?
it brings
I was in class.
It depends on where you are when you're working.
Sure.
And then you know you can grow with your clients.
And I think it's one of those things where you only could, like you're saying, there's so much that can't be spoken, like the inevitable. It's to be in the presence of that individual is where you gain certain knowledges and certain knowings. And you know, it's amazing because she's at this point, I'm learning from, what would it be, 2 generations down, right? But the presence that she still holds is very, very palpable. And it is so much in being in that place with your teacher, with your, if you're getting work done, right? It's me and the client. And there's so much in the touch and in asking for movement, but just in the presence of the intention. It feels like that's where immense amount of shifts happen, and it going through a series with that intention.
There was a study done in the 1970s at the University of California in Los Angeles about structural integration. And Ida Rolf at the time insisted for an aura reader to be part of the team. And I was fortunate enough to speak to that aura reader a couple of weeks ago. And she described what she saw in the sense that she said Ida Rolf was one of the most grounded people that she has ever seen in her entire life. It was like as if she had 4 feet and not just 2. And that before she touched someone, there was in front of her hand, in front of her fingers, there was an energy field which got in touch with the energy field of the other person she was working with before she even touched them. And that connection from these 2, what she described as energy fields, stayed during the entire session, regardless of whether Ida Rolf was describing something to one of her students and explaining something. She could talk to someone on the other side of the room, but this energy field she saw still was in touch with that energy field of her client.
Wow.
The book.
How do you teach that?
Pardon?
How do you teach that?
I guess she didn't have that when she was 20 years old.
That lady wrote a book, and then it was translated to Hebrew. The lady that the psychic lady that you were talking about.
It's not a, well, it's Rosalind Briere.
Right. Yeah. So
Yeah.
she wrote a book, and okay, the story is she wrote a book, and then it was translated into Hebrew, and it was I was coming into a very famous bookshop in Israel, and they put all the new books on shelves, and this book almost jumped into my hands, and then I like to open in the middle, not in the beginning. And where did I open in? The chapter that is describing this Helen Hunt, was it? Dr. Helen
Valerie
Hunt.
Hunt, Dr. Hunt.
Valerie Hunt, sorry. yeah, that made this research, and she's speaking and she's telling this book all about it, and it's amazing research. And there are many stories like this. Like some of my clients told me they were dreaming of Ida Rolf. She came to them in their dreams, and they understood they have to study Rolfing. Not that it happened, but or there was another one that said that her baby started saying Ida, and there was no Ida anywhere. All kinds of, and I think some of the teachers told us stories during the years of all kinds of spiritual stories connected to Ida, but it's and I know that I think yeah, Peter and Emmett told us. I think I studied with them the advanced course, and they told us that there was a time when there were problems in the, with the institute. They went to Ida's teacher, spiritual teacher, and Ida was no longer there, and she connected, she channeled Ida to them, and Ida approved of everything that they were doing, including the opening of the guild. Many stories about that I heard during the years. That's the nice thing about studying from or with her direct students.
Yeah.
But all of them are wonderful. But yeah, it's amazing how grounded she was. It's what you told just now is a beautiful story. Thank you, Alice. I always like stories like this.
Well, it's kind of funny, you know. Rosalind Briere also told me that she at the time was only 27 years old. So she was a very young woman and a very young mother. And she had actually only just found out through working with her or talking and engaging with her children that she had this ability to see people's auras.
Oh,
And
that's a great.
so
Wow.
Ida took a big leap of faith with someone who was basically a beginner in that craft, or she could sense the potential of that person.
Yeah.
And,
I think.
you know, just let her do her job.
Yeah.
Quite amazing, you know, for someone who's 73, trust someone who's 27, that's quite a lot.
Yeah, but you could see her.
Yeah, obviously.
It reminds me of Sharon coming to teach in Israel and then working on one of my clients and, you know, sort of crying that she can't see auras. But this person, my friend that was laying on the table, she could see his life from beginning to end. So I was thinking to myself, what is she crying about? I mean, she could see so much. It's just
Well,
not
and
at all.
picking that up, just Sharon would be here, but she's teaching a class in Poland at the moment and is in class as of this moment still. So
That's good. Wonderful. Lucky them. Yeah.
I saw Orna's name briefly. Orna,
Oh,
if
really?
you're listening, we send you our love.
Where is she?
Well, she was, I just saw her posted momentarily. Maybe she's in the chat.
I even saw her picture, her face. I thought
Yeah.
she
Oh,
came in text.
can't see
I
her
have
right
to.
now.
No, I can't see her right. It was brief.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll write her.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Okay, well,
a full meeting. Again, on behalf of all of us, Alice, thank you for orchestrating this.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you very
Thank you
much.
so much. Thank you.
And we'll do it again, Mary, okay?
Yeah.
But well, I'm gonna have another sip and raise my glass this time to Dr. Rolf's birthday.
Aye.
She's only
Can you
128.
recommend the
I mean,
wine?
so
Can you
know,
recommend the type of wine you're drinking?
it's a prosecco.
Prosecco.
It's a prosecco.
It's a good prosecco. Thank you.
I like it. It's a rosé prosecco.
Oh, yum. That sounds delicious.
Cheers.
And
Cheers.
it's now
Cheers, Ida.
6:15 here. I can drink another glass. It's fine. Okay. So
cheers.
To Dr. Rolf.
You can also see.
May her work continue.
Happy birthday
To you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear
Ida.
Happy birthday to
you.
Yay!
Thank you so much.
Okay.
And thank you for all for being here. And
yes,
I guess most of you, it's still morning or early afternoon. So have a great rest of the day. Okay.
Thank you.
cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank
for
you,
this. I
Alice.
hope to get over to Europe to meet you guys in the European Guild. I
Hey,
appreciate you
anytime.
over there.
Grazie.
I feel like
Thank
you
you.
all have a very
Obrigado.
sort of
Dziękuję.
wide
Thank you, everybody.
Dziękuję.
Bye-bye.
Eric, nice to see you. Eric.
See you, Alex Nilsi.
Hey.
Bye.
Bye
Bye,
now.
everyone. Ciao.
Bye.
Adios,
Good
Tanya.
day.
Bye.
Thank you, obrigada.
You.
Grazie.
Adios.
Bye-bye.
Alice.
Bye-bye.
Dobrý večer a dobrou noc.
Taky, dobrý večer. Fulvio! No.
Buonasera, buona serata, Fulvio.
Buona serata a voi. Grazie, Ale. Wonderful. Thank you. Ciao, Zen.
Ciao.
Bye, everyone. Ciao, Bert. Ciao, Shlomit. Ciao, Nilsi.
Bye. Oh, thank you.
Bye, thank
Bye-bye,
you.
Nilsi. Bye-bye, kid.
Lovely to see you.
Take care.
Bye.
Ciao.
Bye.